delighted to be here. You know, it's been a great long while since I was in this part of Virginia. The last time was in April in 1756. That's more than 30 years ago now. I'd come to Norfolk, and the city was so kind as to, as it were, well, the mayor presented me a certificate declaring me to be a burgess of the borough of Norfolk, and so on. I was received with great hospitality. I'm afraid business has kept me away until now, but I'm pleased to return. I also want to congratulate you all on the action taken by your convention last month in June in the ratification of our new federal constitution. I think with Virginia's approval of it, it is likely, almost certain to go into effect, and I pray may be of a benefit to all the states. And I don't know your own views upon it. Perhaps you were with General Washington in approving of it. Perhaps you were with Patrick Henry in opposing it. But one thing I think is most salutary in our new Constitution, and that we may all take comfort from, it's not carved in stone. Provision has been made for its amendment, and so I have no doubt that if any provisions of it prove inadequate or unnecessary in future, then the people of these states can see them properly altered to fit new circumstances and new necessities. Why, young Mr. Madison of your own Virginia, he has a whole list of amendments he wishes to propose in the very first Congress to meet under the new Constitution. He calls it a Bill of Rights, which I think might be a welcome addition to it all. I spent 4 months last summer in '87 in Philadelphia as a member of the convention that drafted that Constitution through the heat of a Virginia summer. And of course, as was necessary to keep the proceedings secret, the windows of the hall had to be kept closed at all times, and we were all sworn to secrecy, as it were, until the business was done. I shall only leave you to imagine what that room was like, with 50 agitated men in a Philadelphia summer. But the work was done, and I'm pleased with it. Now, of that company that were gathered on that event, I found myself, as I often do these days, the oldest man in the room. The next oldest member of the convention was 15 years my junior, Mr. Roger Sherman of Connecticut. I believe the average of all the members was about half my age. And the youngest, a man named Dayton from New Jersey, he was the age of my grandson. They all treated me with the greatest respect and deference. The venerable Dr. Franklin, the ancient sage. They listened attentively to all that I said and ignored all of it. All my suggestions were rejected if they were even considered. But for all that there are provisions in the new Constitution that were not what I perhaps would have wished, well, who is to say that I was correct and they were not? All things considered, I think it is as fine a piece of work as could possibly be obtained in such an instance, given the narrow views and personal opinions of the various members that had to be adjusted and the interests of the several states involved. And I have the greatest hope that it shall persevere. But one thing I could not but help note, that some of these young people, I don't think they appreciate the distance we have come, the distance that I have seen us come in my long life. The world into which I was born was rather different from the world that we inhabit at present.